So, picking up the Ashtavakra from verse 14 of chapter 1. I did a bit of this the other day, but I'll just repeat. You have long been bound, thinking, I am a person. Let the knowledge, I am awareness alone, be the sword that frees you. You have long been bound, thinking, I am a person. Let the knowledge, I am awareness alone, be the sword that frees you. And as I was saying the other day, it is not the idea I am awareness which can free you. It is the knowledge, the knowingness, the insight, the direct recognition of this fact, which is the only unchanging fact actually. Everything else has been changing. The person is a bundle of change, isn't it? If I said 10 years ago, Murad, what kind of person are you? 10 years ago, if I said, you would have said, I'm like this, I'm like this, I'm like this. Today I say, Murad, what kind of person are you? You say, I'm like this, I like this, I do this. This is what I'm interested in. I want freedom. You see, these kind of things. So this is the changing. And just now, you could pick up a new idea. Any of us could pick up a new idea. And in that picking up, it becomes part of our identity. The mind is offering new aspects to your identity with every thought. But there comes a point where we get tired of this changing person. Consciousness itself outgrows it, is a better term actually. Outgrows the personal identity and then wants to come to the exploration of its own reality, unlimited being. And thus creates this sort of environment for itself where it can recognize its own source. What am I really? Who am I really? And why do I say really? Because we define reality as that which is directly experienced and that which remains unchanging. So what is it that I am? So the sage has said, let the knowledge, I am awareness alone, be the sword that frees you. Why I have to elaborate on this a little bit is because many times it can be that we can pick up this idea, I am awareness, and use it as a competing idea to I am a person. You see, something is personal is coming, then we use another idea, no, I am awareness. So suppose some anger is coming and the mind is saying, see, you're getting angry, you're not free yet. And the mind itself will use, oh, I am awareness, I am awareness. You see? So we create another Mahabharat for ourselves, a war between two concepts. You see? Just the conceptual knowledge that I am awareness does not help you. In fact, it might create more conflict. So this knowledge is the knowledge with a capital K. It must be your own insight. Now, if someone comes and tells you, you're a frog, will you believe it? You don't believe it because you have an insight that you're not one. No matter how much that one tries to convince you that you are a frog, you will not believe it. In the same way, when you have the insight about yourself, that you are awareness, then no matter how much the mind tries, you hardly ever fall for this trick. I don't want to say 100% because there is no 100%, even for a sage. So drop that expectation. So most of the time, when the mind offers to you that you are a limited entity, you see, with all its aspects of duality, desire, and doership, you will not buy that story. It will sound as funny as someone coming and telling you that you are a pink elephant, or a, or a, or a Martian, or a frog, or something like this. Just like that. You see? So this is the knowledge I'm speaking of, which comes from your recognition about yourself. And what is the sage said? How to come to this recognition? He says, you are not any of the five elements. You are not anything phenomenal, although they might arise from you and dissolve within you. Yet your greater position is that of a witness to these. So what is this witness? And you have to clarify for yourself, am I this witness? Many times when I say witness, the mind will come to you and say, create a visual of like an entity sitting over there and witnessing all of this. You see? That's why, preferable to the term witness, I use the term witnessing. You are the witnessing itself. You see? You are the awareness itself. It is not an entity which owns awareness, not somebody being aware. Being gets its being within awareness. You see? Don't worry, if the words confuse you, don't worry about that. Our job is to just check who witnesses all that is phenomenal, all that is in the realm of change. Who witnesses the world which includes this body. Is there something which is witnessing the movement of your body right now? Something is not an accurate term, but we'll use that for now. Something which watches the movement of your thoughts. When one thought goes and the other one has not yet come, are you still here in the space between two thoughts? Does the witness remain? Therefore, I must be independent of my thoughts. The mind will convince you that you are the mind. You see? But the mind is nothing, as Bhagavan said, nothing but a bundle of thoughts. But even in the space between two thoughts, you remain. You see? Otherwise, how would the Zen master say, no mind? If you were just the mind, then who would be here to taste no mind? So you cannot be this. Body we already spoke about, world we know is changing already. So then breath, emotions, sensations. What about all of these? They are also changing. What about the witness of these? Does that one also change? If this entire realm of phenomena, this is my birthday today, or your birthday. So if in this realm of change, we cannot find anything which remains unchanging, we must look at who witnesses the change. If we are looking for truth, if we are looking for reality, we must find the one that witnesses all that is changing. And already all of us know, we have been in Satsang long enough to know that when we attach to that which is changing, what's going to happen? When it changes, it is going to cause suffering. That is the nature of attachment. Therefore, what can we attach to if all phenomena is changing? What is it that can give us the stability that we are looking for? Are you aware now? Who taught you how to be aware? Can you forget how to be aware? Now, many new Advaitins will say, oh, but even this awareness, I am not. You see? Huh? It's the funniest thing. You see? What are they saying? I am aware that even awareness I am not. Or I know that even knowingness I am not. So in that moment when you were not awareness or knowingness, what knew that you are not that? That's just a mind game. Better you forget about these concepts. You see? Because you haven't experienced the true nature of the self. And you want to cling to a fantastic idea about a truth that you have discovered. You can pick up this idea that I'm beyond even the self. Because if it was your experience, you cannot have an experience unless you are aware. So the sage said, let the knowledge, I am awareness alone, be the sword that frees you. Now, I am awareness alone does not mean that we do not experience the presence of consciousness. It only means that even consciousness is made up of the self, is made up of awareness itself. All that is awareness itself. Okay, verse 15. You are now and forever free, luminous, transparent, still. The practice of meditation. Okay, if you've not meditated, better you don't hear this verse. The practice of meditation keeps one in bondage. You are now and forever free, luminous, transparent, still. The practice of meditation keeps one in bondage. So let me look at the second part first, because the meditators must be getting worried now. So what does this mean? The practice of meditation keeps one in bondage. So often when I get this question, that can I continue to meditate, or is meditation helpful to me? I usually say yes. Of course, it depends on the questioner. I usually say yes, it is. But the meditator is not helpful to you. You see? Many times it is the practitioner identity which itself becomes so strong that all of this seeking of the self depends on how long I have meditated today, or what are the experiences I had in my meditation. You see, what colors of light did I see? Which astral worlds did I travel to? It becomes all about this thing. You see, so it becomes another type of game. Just like this realm is a game, you can experience everything here also. So, you see, so then you want to experience other realms, and that itself becomes the identity. You see? So the meditator identity, the practitioner identity, is what the sage is pointing to. That not even this we can be attached to. There is nothing wrong with the meditation itself. Because meditation is what? Again, it is satsang. It is to be in the company of the self, to be in the company of the truth. That is true meditation, isn't it? So it is not meditation which the problem is with. It is the idea of being the meditator and the spiritual ego associated with meditation. Also, other struggles can come with in one day meditation. And this I speak from my own experience of the past. You see? One day's meditation, you can feel like it's so still, so beautiful, so much peace. You see? Not even breath is there, everything is gone. You can feel like that. And then you can have an idea that today I will make it even better when I meditate. You see? What happens when you start meditating? All these thoughts about work and you see, relationships and money and all of these things. And you're getting more and more frustrated. Oh, yesterday was so good, I lost it. You see? So the that's why Bhagavan Sri Ramana Maharishi has made it so simple for us by giving us a simple inquiry, the simple contemplation. Who am I? Because in this inquiry, you cannot even hold on to the identity of the inquirer. Even that will be squeezed out of you. You see? So there is no potential to keep the identity of the practitioner. So this is the general point. But I want to talk to you because I feel like you can hear it. I want to talk to you about a subtler point, which is what is it that you are before the intention to meditate or the practice of meditation. In this moment now, before you even pick up the idea, I must meditate, or the practice of meditation, are you not the self? See? So then the idea of something to do to get somewhere itself is bondage, isn't it? See? It reinforces the idea again that you are a limited entity. You see? That if you do A, B, and C, X, Y, and Z, then you will come to this point, which is freedom. You see? And what are all the masters saying? You got horse saying that you are free right now. You see? You don't have to believe this. But the least you can do is check if this is true or not. If you say you follow the words of the master, then the least we can do is in this moment check what is here. Is there something which is bound? Before you can go to the content of your next thought, before you can worry about any emotion, feeling, anything to do, what is it that you are? Empty of all of these concepts. Before the intention of any doership. are you here and now? Are you something which is bound by the sensations of your body boundaries? Let me repeat slowly. Are you something that is bound by the sensations of the body, which might seem to you like they are boundaries of you? Are they not another energetic appearance within your own being, within your own existence? And if you are beyond this, if the body boundary is just another appearance within you, how long will we identify as just this bucket of flesh and blood? That's why the sage said, you are now and forever free, luminous, transparent, still. And I explained the other day that if you keep looking for these attributes, let me find the transparent one, let me find the free one, let me find the luminous one, it'll just get confused. So you are not to search for these attributes in that way. You only have to search for yourself. And then, as you come to this recognition, see that it is true what he's saying, that what you're finding about yourself is free, is luminous, is transparent, is still. In that way, these pointings are to be used to check and to inquire into the truths of what we are finding. Like a very beautiful one that the sage said earlier, you are not earth, water, fire, air. And quickly the mind, what does it give you? It gives you the picture of some space. Okay, I am not earth, water, fire, air, so I must be this space. So quickly the sage said, even the space you are not. Now the mind is lost because it cannot define or visualize anything which is beyond space. It keeps giving you different visuals of various types of space. Maybe some dark space, maybe some infinite space, maybe some white space, some colorful space. But if you say not even space, then at that moment, the question comes to you, are you going to keep the allegiance to this mind? Because now we have come to a point where the mind cannot help you. See? Not that the mind is going to admit that. It will keep trying to visualize, it will keep trying to conceptualize. It will even hang on to the concept. Oh, it is beyond the mind. You see? But your looking must go beyond even space. So, if the mind is giving you a visual of some dark space or some white light or whatever it is, don't worry, use even that and ask yourself, who is aware of this? Or who witnesses even this? Does that have a color? So when the sage said transparent, that's what it means. Sometimes in the translation to English, the words can seem a bit confusing. Does that which is the witness of all things, does that itself have a color? And that one is which one? It is you. You. So if you don't have color, size, shape, age, you see, then what must you be? You are just this awareness, which is not an object. Therefore, you cannot find yourself objectively. You are pure consciousness, the substance of the universe. The universe exists within you. Don't be small-minded. There's a gentle rebuke there. You are pure consciousness, the substance of the universe. The universe exists within you. Don't be small-minded. What does it mean you are the substance of the universe? Literally, it is that. In the sense that the universe is made up of you. Just like the dream is made up of what? Your own consciousness, isn't it? Therefore, we are willing to accept it about the dream state. And we feel like there's something special about this waking state. But this exact same moment, this exact same thing could be happening in a dream tonight also. You see? Where you find that the potential within you, within consciousness, to project all this movement is there. You see? And if these insights seem too alien to you and they cause only frustration, then forget about it. You see? Better forget about it. Don't force yourself to recognize that you are the substance of the universe. You just keep finding out who you are. Let these insights be the byproducts. You see, sometimes the clues which are meant to help, sometimes they itself become the obstacle. So, best what to do if anything feels too confusing, too far out, too radical, cannot relate to it, just leave it. Don't bother with it. The inquiry, who am I? The insight about your truth, that will remain unchanging. You see? And upon finding the self, have you noticed that every master still has a different report about the phenomenal world? You see, that is the play of this phenomenal world. Every aspect of consciousness is experiencing it differently. So don't try to get consistency about phenomenal appearances. But one thing you will find consistently with those who have come to the truth of their self is that I am this unchanging witnessing, unborn self, which is beyond the realms of birth and death, beyond the states of waking, dream, sleep, turiya. Somebody asked about samadhi. So we are speaking beyond that. You can leave these states alone. Too much trouble, too much struggle. Actually, it's the trouble and struggle which is the part of the play of consciousness, trying to, knowing fully well that it has created this unlimited expression, and then noticing all these aspects of itself, trying to give some consistency to the phenomenal appearance. There is none. Find the truth of what you are, and there we can meet as one. Okay, I should explain the term don't be small-minded, because traditionally in Vedanta also, they've defined it like big mind and small mind. So even consciousness itself has been defined as the big mind. So when people say everything is mine, everything is mine, all the appearances are mine, What are they talking about? This, because terminology can become confusing, then people get confused that this is some solipsism or something like that. It is not that. They are talking about consciousness itself being the big mind. Actually, I remember many years ago, long before I met Guruji, I met another very sweet uh, master called Swami Tejomayanandaji. And I had gone to him, and at that time I was reading a lot of this. I don't know how many of you heard of Seth book, Seth Speaks. So I went to him, and I felt like I had a very fancy question. I said to him, if I am creating this realm, then why can't I decide to create like a palace for myself and unlimited wealth? You see? I asked him like that. And he said to me very simply, not impressed with my question at all. He said, you are confusing the big mind and the small mind. You see? And I didn't understand the answer at all at that point. You see? Because it is this consciousness, which is the projecting light, which is the screen, which is the actor, producer, director, everything of this world appearance. You see? And somewhere, at many places in Vedanta, even that is referred to as mind, at least in the translations, that is referred to as mind. And that can cause confusion. Many times you will see quotes from even Bhagwan, from Maharaj, and they say, everything is a projection of your mind. And at the other time, Bhagwan will say, oh, the mind is only a bundle of thoughts. Is it? So, because in translations, in terminology, this confusion can happen. So what is a small mind? Is this mind that we speak of as the mind, which is the voice of your limitation, the voice of your individuality, that voice which seems to be within our heads, which is convincing you that you are a separate entity. So when the sage Ashtavakra is saying that don't be small-minded, this is what he means. Same thing what he said earlier, don't be a person, don't pretend to be something limited. You are unconditioned, changeless, formless. Okay, now see, these are very important things. When we hear it, it can seem like, yeah, he's just like on a roll. He's saying all beautiful things. You see? But every word is very beautiful. How many of us are trying to get rid of our conditioning? Don't have to raise your hand, just look. How many of us are trying to get over our tendencies and our conditioning? But what is the sage saying? You are unconditioned. So which voice are you going to believe now? The voice which is saying you must get over your conditioning. You must do this and this and this and get over your greed and your lust and your need for money and power and all of these things. Or are you going to look at this one where he's saying you are unconditioned? What is your experience right now? This is what I do almost every day. I ask you, before you think about it, are you conditioned or unconditioned? A concept, it is impossible to have a condition without a concept. Right now you are empty. As a baby you are empty. In this moment. Till you pick up the thought, am I? He doesn't know me really. Something, some idea, which becomes a condition. As I was saying yesterday, now the bad news with one condition is that not only that condition comes, the whole seeming identity of the person comes. Seems to come. It never really comes, okay? Only seems to come. That all my history, all my stories, all my beliefs about myself, they seem to appear when I tug at one leaf from this tree, the whole tree appears. The whole identity seems to be present here. But the good news is what Ashtavakra is telling us. You are unconditioned. I like to say that you have the services of the best cleaning lady or best cleaning man in the world. Who is this one? It is consciousness itself. In this moment, all the cleanup has happened. So even the prior conditioning, you can pick up only now. or you can leave only now. That is why Bhagwan said, isn't it? If you feel like you have a choice, make the choice not to go along with what your thoughts are saying. As I repeated for 2 years non-stop, maybe, just don't believe your next thought. See, why? Because the self is already here, you see. Your unconditioned being, your unassociated consciousness is your starting point. You have never left the destination. And this must become your insight. If you leave the past aside, if you forget about the projections of the future for just one moment, and you don't infer or judge anything that appears in this moment, everyone do this with me. And the power to do this is here with you. Don't buy an idea that, oh, I'm not able to do this now. Leave the past aside. All thoughts which are coming about past, let them come and go. Future, also don't be concerned about. Let it be. And whatever is here and now, don't make an inference out of it. Don't make a judgment out of it. Just remain with your inner vision, insight. You will find that effortlessly you exist. Thought or no thought, future or no future, past or no past, you exist. And you will find that you are aware of your existence. Don't grasp at anything. Don't push anything aside. Don't worry about any sensation that might be coming up. Don't interpret it. Don't judge it. Which means what? Let the interpretations and judgments come and go. It doesn't mean you have to resist anything. You exist effortlessly. Your identity is dependent on your thoughts. Your existence is independent of them. Anything that the mind might be throwing at you, don't be concerned with it. Just check who witnesses that. Imagine that you have a basket and everything that is changing, we are going to put into that basket. So this world which we are perceiving goes into the basket. The body with its sensations and visuals goes into the basket. All our thoughts, imaginations, memories go into the basket. All the emotions, sensations, pain and pleasure all go into the basket. I witness even my presence. I am aware of my existence. So even that can go into the basket. Now, are you in the basket? At which point did you go into the basket? Or do you remain without any attribute, without any quality? You are unconditioned, changeless, formless. You are solid, unfathomable, cool. Cool means what? Not so cool like that. I'm just unperturbed, unconcerned with the movement of this phenomenal realm. Why does the sage say the word solid, while at the same time saying that you have no quality? Solid here must imply that it is a valid experience of the self. It is not just some airy fairy story. So this, you are unconditioned, changeless, formless. You are solid, unfathomable, cool. Desire nothing. You are consciousness. So put the second one first. If you are consciousness, I am already all there is. I am that I am. Then what desire can I have? That which has form is not real. Only the formless is permanent. Once this is known, you will not return to illusion. That which has form is not real. Doesn't mean it is not appearing. Forms are appearing. But appearing is what? As appearances. That's why right in the beginning we define reality to mean that which is unchanging. And he clarifies that also in the next sentence. That which has form is not real. Only the formless is permanent. Once this is known, you will not return to illusion. Just as a mirror exists both within and without the image reflected, the Supreme Self exists both within and without the body. You see your reflection in the mirror. The rest of the reflection is also in the mirror, isn't it? And the reflection itself is also in the mirror. In the same way, the Supreme Self is the substratum of this appearance of the world, but it is not contained by it. You are that large, not large in a phenomenal way. You are that great, that magnificent, that nothing can contain you. Not this universe, at least for sure. So another definition of satsang that I like, which is a bit crazy, my style, which besides the company of the truth or company of existence, is that satsang is a voyage outside this universe. You don't have to climb into a spaceship. You don't have to buy a ticket to anything. But when you find yourself, you find that which is beyond this universe of time and space, beyond any limitation of name and form. See? So people are paying millions of dollars. No, there's this what is it? Space mission, and there's no guarantee that it'll succeed or they'll actually ever come back. You see, just to experience being out of this earth, but being in satsang, in one moment of clarity, what earth you are out of this universe. So there is no greater discovery than discovering the self. Just as the same space exists both within and without a jar, the timeless, all-pervasive one exists as totality. This one is very clear. We talked about this, that you are the substratum. And all that appears is appearing in the space within you. Just like the space is the substratum of this phenomenal world, where all objects, including a jar, is appearing within it, and yet the space outside and inside the jar is the same. No separation has happened in space. In this same way, no separation has ever happened in your existence, in your being. So this is the end of chapter 1. We can close here today.